Awesome. Good morning, DSST Hornets. This is Miss Walcott and Mr. Wright and several of our amazing teachers here today to talk about our spring testing. Spring is a time that y'all know from school already brings a lot of tests. We're here today to talk about the dates and some logistics, but first and most importantly, why this matters for us as a teaching team and for us as a school. Kick us off first, Miss Perez.
So, why does testing matter? A lot of our PSAT is used for merit based scholarships. It also helps your teachers identify any gaps in learning that we can see.
Love it. Thanks, Ms. Perez. We're going to pass it over to Ms. Miller about why testing matters to you inside of your classroom.
Testing matters to me first and foremost because no matter where we are in life or where we're going, we're always asked to prove what we know. And in my classroom, one of the easiest ways I can figure out what you know is by testing you and proving to me that you understand the material, the content, and everything. So no matter where you go in life, you have to prove what you know.
Love it. Doing our best and showing what we know is part of being a student and an adult. Ms. Hahn, over to you. Why does testing matter to you?
So testing is important in my classroom because it's a way for my students to show off their knowledge and to show me what they know and to help me be the best teacher that I can be for them, because it will help me figure out with data what topics that we need to reteach or revisit so that my students can be set up to do well on tests, other tests like the PSAT, in order to get those scholarships.
Thanks so much, teachers. We have an incredible teaching team here at DSST, and we use data all the time to make instructional moves inside of our classes day to day and from prior years. So doing the best on our tests shows us what you know. We're going to turn it over to Mr. Wright in just a second, but first I want to preview some of our important dates that we have for testing. Our first big testing date in about a month is the official SAT, followed up by the official PSAT a couple days later. Then we will have the CMAS just for our 11th grade students. And then in May, we close out with our official AP exams. Mr. Wright's here today to talk about the SAT and PSAT. Take it away.
Hey friends, so just some information about the SAT and the PSAT. First thing to know is that these tests are in person. There is not a virtual version of the SAT or PSAT. So on those dates that Ms. Walcott showed, it will be a virtual schedule for everybody not testing. So on the 13th, 11th grade will be in person. Everybody else will be at home that day. And then same thing for the 15th, we'll have 9th and 10th grade in person and the other grade levels learning from home on a virtual schedule. And the most important thing to know about this test is it's just a huge opportunity. CG has always been ahead of the curve in terms of every other school in Denver and many schools in the country. And so in a year where so many people have just phoned it in on like what's possible for learning, we haven't. And our SAT data from the fall and the winter shows that we're on track to make incredible growth in spite of all the challenges of this year. And so what that means for college is our college applications are going to be even more ahead of the curve than they already are. So thinking about our rainbow chart, like where we land in terms of kind of GPA and SAT score to get into the colleges that we want to get into, this year we're going to be even more competitive than we already are because we're so far ahead of the curve. Like we've worked so incredibly hard this year to make this a really productive year of learning, and I'm so excited for us to be paid off for that as a school and as individual students.
Thanks so much, Mr. Wright. The SAT and PSAT is our first big opportunity to show what you know. Our second one is specifically for our junior students. This is the CMAS test, and it's going to be on Wednesday, April 21st, inside of our building. There will be an in-person testing option only, and it's just about 4 hours, about a half day. The topic for this is only on science, which is so awesome. We are a STEM school with an excellent science department, and I can't wait for y'all to be able to share what you've learned over the past few years. Next big testing dates to know about are our practice AP exams. If you're an AP student, you have an opportunity to come into the building and take an aligned practice test. This is huge. This helps you see where your strengths are and what you need to practice on before your official AP test in May. Here's our AP testing calendar. And the big thing for you to know is your teachers are rolling out the survey for you to register for your practice tests in class over the next couple of days. The deadline's this Friday, and I'm excited to see y'all during those practice tests. We're going to kick it over to Mr. Wright to talk about some key things to think about from in-person versus virtual assessment.
Yeah, so some of you have already taken an in-person assessment this year. Our seniors took the SAT earlier this year. Many of our juniors took the PSAT and MSQT. And so it's just important to remember that this is very different. This year you've been used to taking tests at home. You've been used to being able to use your notes in that sort of open note environment. You've been used to maybe being able to listen to music or some other things like that. And so as we sort of shift back to in-person instruction and in-person testing, those things go away, and it's important to sort of recognize that, and maybe get a little practice closing your notes sometimes, get a little practice testing in that silent environment, because that is going to be the environment for in-person assessments. So take some steps now to make sure that you're ready for that.
Awesome. So some big changes about the environment. And the other thing for you to know is you've got time to prepare for these assessments. Your teachers are planning PSAT sprint weeks over the next couple of weeks to help you do your best on the SAT and PSAT. Do your best in their lessons, give your 100%, and that will help build some muscles for those assessments. Attend your teacher's MT and office hours. That's a huge opportunity, as always, to get some really focused support on where you need to continue growing. And then check out some of these free online resources. Khan Academy and AP Classroom have loads of free practice that you can access for yourself at any moment. If you're a junior, check your email from me on Monday. You have a great opportunity to sign up for an SAT bootcamp that's a really discounted rate and provides some specific SAT practice for y'all. And finally, if you have questions, please reach out to me for AP exams or CMAS, or to Mr. Wright for anything related to SAT and PSAT. We're going to close out by hearing from our teachers again about how incredible of a group of students you are. Take it away, teachers.
Yes, we are so excited to see everything that you do. We know you're going to do your best and show what you know by proving you've got this. So let's have a Hornets on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hornets.
Hornets.
Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye, y'all.